we'll get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Berea City Council meeting, Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. I'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please let the record reflect that a quorum is present. And I'll call on Jim Davis to lead us in our invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Jim.
As leaders and citizens of this community, we ask your blessings upon all the citizens in this council, and our mayor and city administrator and all of our city employees. We ask that you watch over us and guide us as we take on the business of the city of Berea. Help us make good, sound decisions and do what's right and pleasing to you. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve? By Cora Jane Wilson. Is there a second? By Jim Davis. Any discussion on the agenda? Motion to approve the agenda. Seeing none, I'll request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to approve the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries and the agenda is approved. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from October 1st, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
moved.
By Steve Cottle. Is there a second? By Katie Startzman. Any discussion on the minutes? Need for changes or corrections? Seeing none, I'll request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes from October 1, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. The motion carries and the minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is I'm very, very happy to have two good friends to Berea and personal friends here in Berea and Council Chambers with us. First of all, I want to recognize J.D. Cheney, CEO of the Kentucky League of Cities. J.D., I know you're here somewhere. Come on up, J.D. J.D. is here. We have a training program through the Kentucky League of Cities. Berea has been traditionally very involved with the training program with KLC, and J.D. has some Kentucky League of Cities training recognitions. And also after that, he has an award for Friends of Kentucky Cities Award for someone who's in the audience as well. J.D., the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm ashamed to say this is my first Berea council meeting. I've been just live up the road just a little bit in Richmond. I've been CEO of the league for the past 5 years, almost 5 years, with the league for 23 years. And I do want to thank you all for the opportunity to be here and represent the League of Cities. And so proud of you all for being such a strong member of our organization over the years. I got two bosses in the audience. Mayor Fraley's on the executive board, and if you didn't know, Kevin Howard's on our board of directors representing the utilities across the state of Kentucky. So Berea's engagement with the league is something we certainly appreciate, and certainly I'm proud of to be in the same county with you guys. You know, city employees and city officials don't get paid like county officials in terms of going to training sessions, and so it's a voluntary thing if you commit yourself to go and attend training sessions to try to improve yourself, your skills, and your knowledge about how to operate a city and learn from other communities. And Berea has 3 individuals who have completed multiple levels of training. And Mayor Fraley asked that I present these here at the county. And I don't know how you want to handle this protocol-wise, but whether you want to take a picture, or whether you want me to just hand it out, however you say, Mayor.
I think let's do a picture after you do all 3.
All right, let's do all 3. Mr. Brian Reed, level 2, so he's completed 2 levels of training in excellence in city governments with the league. So we have a training certificate for him and a nice gift. It looks like, I don't even know what's in the gift, but I'm sure it's nice. And then we have, I don't have to open these up and look at them. I know the other 2 very well. Donna Angel has completed her level 3, which is which is all next to highest. Where'd Donna go? Right there she is. Her level 3 excellence in city of government. That's about 45. Is that 45 hours worth of training in the last little bit? So that's impressive. And then your city administrator Rose Beverly has completed her level 2 certification as well. So that's a big deal when you look at city officials across the state that take the time to do that without any pay. So congratulations to the city of Berea and these 3 officials that have committed themselves to representing you all well in their capacity.
So if you guys would come down and maybe let JD present those with you to you, and let's give him a hand. Come on up, Brian, and we'll do a photo. If council wants to squeeze in, maybe we'll get JD, we'll get you and Donna, Rose and Brian right up here. Y'all come right in. I tell you what, let's shift this way a little bit. Everybody shift a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Shift right here. JD, we want you right in the middle of it.
Me too, could I get
Way to go.
Show your certificate. Good job, guys. Thank you.
Squeeze out. Cover the name without shouting.
JD, carry right on, sir.
Y'all thought you were rid of me, but I do have one more thing to do, one more award to give here, and appreciate the city of Berea creating the venue for us to be able to do this. Each year, our board of directors recognizes legislators that go above and beyond for city governments across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We don't have PACs, and so we don't endorse candidates. As you all know, we're a nonpartisan organization that operates in a very political environment, but we're a nonpartisan organization, and so we don't have PACs. We don't make endorsements. We don't do those silly little report cards and things of that nature that you see some associations do, but we do rely on the relationships of legislators back with their city officials and their city governments in terms of advocating for sound policy, embracing the principle that local decisions are best made at the local level. I know we very easily can agree to that concept, that your constituents put you all in positions of trust to make decisions on their behalf, and they're made much better here when you all make them rather than folks from far away places. The people in Bardstown probably don't understand what's going on in Berea and what's best for the city of Berea, and so we rely on legislators to embrace that principle, advocate for legislation, and your all's representative this year. It is awesome to have somebody in the legislature that is set in a city administrator role, that understands the way city government works. And Josh Bray's been a great friend since he's been in the legislature, on a local government committee, a fantastic ally there. Now, if you didn't know this, now he's vice chair. You all probably do realize this, the fact that you all are getting a bypass and some extra road work done and some other things like that. And so it pays to have somebody that sits on that A&R committee, especially in a vice chair role. But Josh was helpful on the annexation debate. It was centered right here in Madison County. If you all weren't aware of that, a lot of the Frankfort debate came from Madison County. He was able to help with that from the city perspective. Also help on issues related to police officers, chief, where you have to wait for a certification for mental illness. We had police officers across this state waiting hours and hours and hours sitting with individuals, so he was able to help do that legislation. Almost, I don't think it would be inappropriate to say that Josh touches, or Representative Bray, sorry, I knew him as a city administrator too, but Vice Chair Bray touches almost any piece of legislation that impacts local government. And so far, so far, he has done well to keep his roots at City Hall intact and when he's in the room representing us. So on behalf of the KLC Board of Directors, thank you all for allowing us the opportunity to present Representative Josh Bray with the 2024 Friend of Cities Award.
All right, Josh.
And Mayor, I let him talk, and then can we do another picture with him?
I think so. I'd like to give Josh the floor. Josh, if you have some comments, congratulations again. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you all. Yeah, thank you for letting me come here again. You know, we were, I guess it was end of April, 1st of May, sometime in there, here with Senator Carpenter talking about the budget and all the good things that were in there for the city of Berea. So happy that we've got the annexation debate behind us. Probably not as happy as what JD is, but that policies we set in Frankfort absolutely impact daily lives, especially for cities, city councils, and city governments. And like JD said, got a background in city administration. I was Mount Vernon city administrator for 10 or 12 years, something like that. Felt like a lifetime ago now. But in Frankfort, I know what it's like for cities and the policies we pass and how it impacts you all. So I do want to say thank you to JD for all of the advocacy they do in Frankfort. They do an awesome job. And thank you to all of you all, because I've heard from almost every one of you at some point during session, some of you multiple times. And so anytime there's something going on, your feedback's greatly appreciated, because if we don't hear from you, we don't really know specifically how something may impact a city. So just want to say thank you all. It's been great working with you, and look forward to the future.
Thank you, Josh. Josh, you want to come up? We'll get Keith to do a photo. How do you want this to work? You want to kind of do the same thing we did before? Guys, let's kind of do the same thing and let JD and Josh, if y'all scoot over just a little bit to your left. Kind of center. Yep. Centered up. Now shake hands if you like. Just don't block the Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll make sure you get it.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of council. And esteemed staff, too.
Thank you, JD. We appreciate you coming, and we're gonna have you back again, so you know the way now.
I do.
All right. And Josh, thank you, and I'm sure you're gonna be hearing from all these guys and from me down the road, so we appreciate we always answer the call. Appreciate you. Thank you both. All right. Moving forward, and congratulations to the awardees, to Donna and Brian and Rose. It takes a lot of work to do that, and I'm glad to see you recognized for putting in your work to do your best to serve the citizens in the best and most educated way possible. The next item on the agenda is a community health partner update. This is the White House Clinics, and I'm very happy to recognize Stephanie Moore, the CEO. Stephanie works closely throughout the community and involves the city. One of the things we've tried to do is let people know about what's going on in the community, what health services are available, and try to educate you guys where you can push all that out to your constituents. And Stephanie, if you'd like to come on up, you have the floor. She's on this one. I think he's got you.
Okay, perfect.
Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. And I'm going to start my timer. I promised the mayor that I would keep this under 10 minutes, but the first time that I had this conversation, I think we probably talked for 20. So I'm going to try to go fast so that we can ask some questions. But the city of Berea has been a great partner, so I very much appreciate the opportunity to speak today. But our organization was founded in Jackson County just over 50 years ago by Dr. Philip Curd. We are a private nonprofit organization with a community board of directors. Our designation as a federally qualified health center requires that 51% of our board or greater be users of the clinic, so that they can not only provide us with perspective about their community, but also perspective about the services that we're delivering. I'm glad to have two board members tonight. Steve Davis and Debbie Gray are two of the board members here with us this evening. We currently have 8 clinics, brick and mortar clinics, and then we also have a mobile dental unit and a mobile HIV outreach unit that work throughout our communities. But the health center program really started in the 60s as part of some of the social justice work that was occurring during Freedom Summer, the war on poverty. And I think sometimes people see a clinic in their community and they don't really realize that we are part of the federal government safety net for healthcare. And so we are a little bit different than other settings of care. But really, we're working to solve 2 problems in the communities that we take care of. Payment for services. So, we receive a grant fund that allows us to provide discounts to people who live under 200% of poverty. But also in many of our communities, we're solving an access problem, because even post ACA, there are a lot of people who have insurance or Medicaid coverage, but there aren't providers who are willing to see them. So for instance, in Jackson County, we employ the only dentist in the entire county. And so people in that community would be driving a great deal. But, even in Berea, we actually have 2 different clinics and a site at Berea Community School, and we hear regularly from patients that if it weren't for us, they wouldn't have a way to receive care in their community. So it really is not only that payment piece, but the access piece equally as much. The health center program is the largest source of primary care in the nation, even surpassing the care delivered by the Veterans Administration. So, I think that this is 2022 data because they haven't fully updated the graphic, but the 2023 data, 31.5 million Americans are served by a health center. But primarily in our area, I think that it's really startling to look at, 1 in 5 rural residents, 1 in 8 kids, and most importantly, 1 in 3 people living in poverty are served by the health center program on a national level. If we take that down to White House Clinic's impact, we are serving 1 in 5 people who live across our 5-county service area. And I think that even as somebody who is as intimately aware of our data as I am after a 2-decade plus career, when I first saw that number, I was kind of startled. I see every year the total number of patients that we serve growing, and taking care of 33,000 patients certainly is a lot of patients, but sometimes it's really easy for us to think about those as this clinic in Berea or this one in Richmond or that one in Mount Vernon. But across those 5 counties, to be taking care of over 20% of the total population is significant. If you look at the people who are living under 200% in those communities, we're taking care of about 55% of those citizens. In addition to providing critical access, we do hold ourselves to an exceptionally high standard of care in terms of quality. So in our clinics, we're providing a comprehensive care team with medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, behavioral health services, and then we also have a team called the Enabling Services Team that address many of the social determinants. Basically everything that has to do with whether or not someone is able to achieve health, but nothing to do with healthcare. So we do lots of work around food insecurity. We do lots of work around transportation. So you'll see not only our mobile units if you're driving through town, but also our transit vans, either delivering equipment to different clinics or also delivering patients to specialty appointments. We are very proud of the fact that for 2 consecutive years, we have received the Silver Health Center Quality Award, which places us in the top 20% nationally of all health centers in terms of quality of care outcomes. Certainly we did a lot of work in our communities around COVID, and so we have received the COVID Public Health Champion Award for several years as well. The additional thing that we are really careful is really looking at ways that we can make care accessible to marginalized and vulnerable populations. There are lots of reasons that lots of people in our community are hesitant or don't feel comfortable walking into a clinic, which is really why those mobile outreach opportunities are important. So, the HIV prevention grant was really the lens that allowed us to do mobile medical care in our community, but I can tell you that You know, we are providing substance use disorder services out of that mobile unit. We are providing linkages to other disciplines of care as well. One of the things that our team has really identified as a critical need is the need for behavioral health services. You know, so working with, you know, an unhoused population or someone that you meet on the street when a van is parked in the church parking lot, you know, they need sometimes more than what even that van is able to provide. But one of the things that when we measure success, sure, the national medals are nice and we're proud of that work, but really, are we delivering care in a way that's realistic for the patients and the community that we're serving? Is it a service that makes sense and is easy to access? So one of the things that we recently did was add Saturday and Sunday hours. So our clinic that's located at the hospital is open from 10 to 8 on Saturday and Sunday, because as a mom who goes from work to practice, you know, sometimes my own healthcare takes a back seat. And so being able to, you know, have greater opportunity to do that is helpful. One of the things, and I think the thing that Mayor Fraley and I have had some time talking about most recently, is really the way that health centers serve as economic engines. So, you know, we are saving the system largely care, because healthcare delivered at a health center is lower cost and more effective than in other settings. But, you know, the economic impact of the operation that we're running. So we have about 350 employees, but indirectly we're also supporting 207 jobs, and that includes everything under the sun. So copier technicians that are coming to our office, delivery drivers, catering, lots of different ways that we're supporting the economy in our local economies. Our budget exceeded $48 million in 2023, or our fiscal year 25 budget will exceed $48 million. And I think that that's another one of those numbers that when people see a clinic out by the interstate, they don't think about a system that's having that kind of economic impact in a community. When we look specifically at jobs created, you'll see in Madison County we employ over 224 people. These payroll dollars are based on 2023 data. I can tell you that all of our employees, or nearly all of our employees, received about a 5% increase last year. So, you know, Berea's $5.5 million of total payroll really is probably closer to 5.8 or 5.9 at this point as well. So that's one of the things that tends to surprise people as well, is not only are we proud of the work that we're providing to our patients, but we care deeply about creating good jobs and strong benefits for our employees and our communities. Moving forward, to talk a little bit of what you might expect from White House Clinic in the coming years. We did our strategic planning exercise last year, and really our board and our leadership team wants to lean into investment and partnership and community, because what we feel like is going to be important to create healthy communities in the coming years is not only to make sure that communities have good health resources, but also that we're working in concert to influence the drivers that impact health and well-being. So creating opportunity for exercise, you know, and creating opportunity for education. And for us, it's not just, you know, telling me to eat healthy, but what are the strategies that might support a busy family in their decision to try to eat healthy? You know, how do you make dinner that, you know, travels down the interstate or across town, or while you're sitting at a park at an activity? And so we anticipate that this will occur in lots of ways. So just a few of those examples that we anticipate in the next few years. We are growing a lot in on-the-job training and certification programs. One of the things that we saw kind of post-COVID is difficulty in recruiting medical assistants. So we started delivering a medical assistant certification program. One of the things that, you know, we dreamed this dream, right? And we started it. And our last class had all of the different kind of groups of people. You know, there was a student who just finished high school, and her family didn't have the money to support her higher education, post-secondary education. but she wanted to work in healthcare. And so, you know, she received payment as an employee during the course of the training. She now has a certification that after she repays her service obligation to our organization, she'll be able to take to any other sector of care. There were moms who started college, but it didn't go really well, and then life and babies happened, and you know, those kids are a little grown up and they're looking for an opportunity to develop a career. There were people who had been downsized in other organizations and always were interested in working in healthcare. So it was a great mix. We're looking to expand that to not only be include medical assistants, but dental assistants in 2025 as well. We are in the process, and probably whoever's the codes department will be seeing my builder very soon. We're going to be renovating the facility across from our Berea Clinic on Legacy Drive that used to be occupied by Central Kentucky Surgery. We will be expanding our pediatric practice and adding a pharmacy drive-through to that location. One of the things we're very excited about is the development of a community kitchen in that space and how we might be able to work with families on food and nutrition. We received notification last week that we received a grant to do some behavioral health expansion. So, you know, hiring a psychiatrist and some other folks to help our behavioral health team. And then really looking at how we can continue to expand outreach. You know, like I said, we started outreach both in the dental space, primarily with schools, and then in the HIV prevention space, but we'll be looking at how we can continue to serve unhoused members of our population and communities in the coming years. And then lastly, exploring both vision and prenatal health. So lots of different things coming. And my timer just went off. So I did it as quickly as I could. But the mayor and I wanted to leave opportunity for questions if there's anything that I can answer.
Sure. Questions for Stephanie or about healthcare in the community? Questions for Stephanie? Stephanie, thank you.
Absolutely.
One
Appreciate
of the
the
things I wish JD was still here, because one thing he says is that cities are in the quality of life business, and certainly the work that you do and all the people that work at White House Clinics do improves the quality of life for the citizens here and in the whole service area. So we're grateful to hear what's going on in the healthcare world and what's going on at White House Clinics, and look forward to staying engaged with you where we can lift everybody up along the way and be helpful and be a good partner. So
Absolutely.
thank you for taking the
Thank
time
you.
to come, and you're
Appreciate it.
always welcome.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the audit report, and we have our consultants from RFH CPAs that are here, and I'll note that this is they're back again, and that this is their first year as a new auditor for the city. So you have the floor.
Thank you. My name's Heather Cochran with RFH out of Lexington. As the mayor said, I think it was like a 6-year period where we weren't doing your all's audit. We have done it previously, but we're back doing it again, so thank you all for having us. I have for you your audit results, which is in the green bound booklet that has previously been handed out. So we'll just go and hit the highlights of those results. The main thing that you want to know is on the independent auditor's report, you all are getting what we call a clean opinion. It says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects. That's what I always tell people, is that's kind of as good as it gets in the auditing world. So that's a clean opinion. That's what you're looking for. That's on pages 1, 2, and 3 of the bound financial statements. Excuse me. The rest of this booklet is primarily your financial statements. We help you all put it together in this format to meet, auditing standards and accounting standards, but they're your financial statements. It's your financial information. But I did want to hit a few highlights of that information. On page 22, that is your governmental funds balance sheet. So that is your general fund, your ARPA, your tourism, and other governmental funds. Total assets at the end of the year were a little over $29 million. Total liabilities were about $3.2 million, and total fund balance, that's what's left over, assets minus liabilities, $25,722,000. So that's your governmental balance sheet. Again, that doesn't include your proprietary funds, your utilities, but it includes everything else of the city. Page 24 is what we call your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. That's what we would call in a for-profit business your income statement. Your total revenues for your governmental funds was $20,624,000. Total expenditures were under that at $18.8 million. And so your net change in fund balance, revenues minus expenditures, was positive $2,645,000. So you increased your fund balance by that amount for your governmental funds. Now your utilities, we have similar information for utilities on page 26 and 27. So your, they call it your statement of net position for your utilities, which is your balance sheet. Total assets were a little over $70 million. Total liabilities were just under $10 million, and net position, assets minus liabilities, what's left over, were $58,385,000. And you got there by your statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund net position, which is on page 27. Again, that's your income statement for the utilities. Total operating revenues were $18,863,000. Operating expenses were $16,378,000. And so your change in net position, which would be kind of like your net income, was $3,675,000 positive. So you increased your net position by that amount. Again, there's a lot of information in this booklet. You know, I always like to joke, it's some nice nighttime reading if you're interested. Probably put you right to sleep, but there is some good information in there. There's probably a footnote for just about any number on the financial statement, so if you ever see something on the financials and you're interested in more information, there's probably some narrative information about it. There's also some good information in the front, which is your management's discussion and analysis. That's something Susan puts together for you guys. It's got some comparative information in it, which can be nice, where you can look at this year versus last year. So if you're, and it also has some information about why things changed. So sometimes that can be a good place to start reading if you're wanting to kind of get a feel for the financial information. But again, it's a clean opinion. That's what you all are looking for. And it was a pleasure working with you all this year.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for our audit team that's here? Do we have a comment by Mr. Cottle? Your microphone's ready.
I'll make one comment, and I always sound like a broken record when I say this every year, but this is a culmination of extensive work that the audit team puts together, and it's a reflection of the exceptional job that our finance department and our city management do to make sure that we are in a healthy financial position, not only this year and last year and the year before that, but the years to come and the decades in the future. And so we also feel like I say this every year, but we don't realize the level of fortune that we have with someone like Susan and the staff that she has to continue the incredible work that they do, because she's usually thinking of things before auditors ever ask about them. And so it's a testament to the great work that she does. And thank you, Susan, and thank you to your staff for a great job. And thank you to the audit firm for putting this together. Do we need to vote to accept this? We usually do.
We can. You usually like to make a
I'd like
motion
to
to
make a
accept.
motion.
Motion to accept. Is there a second to accept the audit by Jim Davis? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to accept the audit, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries, and that is approved. Thank you all again.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that Susan and company will be engaged with you over the coming year.
Yeah.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you again. Thanks for both of you for being here.
Thank you all.
All right. Next item on the agenda is I'm very happy to introduce three of our Human Rights Commission members. Chairman Mark Workman. I think Sharon Mitchell is still the deputy chair. Am I right on that? And Katie Heckman, who is also serving on the Human Rights Commission. They're here tonight to present the 2024 Janice Blythe Award. So I'll turn it over to Mark, the chair. Mark, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor Fraley, members of the council, members who are here tonight of the community. As Mayor pointed out, we're here to present the Janice Blythe Youth Award this year. And just a brief statement, Since 2017, this has been handed out, and Dr. Janice Blythe was a longtime commissioner of the Berea Human Rights Committee and a social justice advocate. This award is presented to a youth aged 22 or younger who has promoted social justice and advocated against discrimination in Berea. And with that, I'd like to take a moment to read the nomination that we received. This was sent to us via Eve Fontanez from Berea Community, but it was a nomination from Susie Harris, who is with the Jobs of America graduates. So I'd like to read just a moment what she wrote. She says, I am writing from Berea Community High School to nominate Austin Weiner for the Janice Blythe Social Justice Award. I would like to nominate Austin to the Human Rights Commission, and he is a senior at Berea Community School and has been in my Jobs for America Graduates program for the past 3 years. He has grown tremendously as an individual and as a responsible citizen. While in JAG, he is qualified for completion in religion, state, and national. He has presented our school and our classroom in interviewing skills and project-based learning. He always gives his best and is willing to help out anyone in need. Last year, he donated his time to help with a community service project with the middle school program. He spent his Saturdays in middle school students and a group called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And in this project, they sanded beds, assembled beds, and stained beds for individuals in the communities that did not have one. It was a rainy day and it was cold. However, not once did I hear Austin complain. In the classroom, Austin is always available to help out with any technical or working with his peers. He's a great leader and a great mentor to younger students. He has experience working with students with disabilities and enjoys the time he spends on the elementary setting collaborating with his group of kindergarten students. And with that, if I know there's several people here, including Austin, from the school and from his family, and if we could have Austin come up, maybe we can present this and take a picture.
Sounds good.
So
Austin,
congratulations. Austin.
congratulations. And I will note that the guidance counselor, Eve Fontanez, Susie Harris from the JAG program, and if you guys haven't read about JAG, please look it up. She's doing wonderful things at the school with the students. And also our fearless leader, Dr. Diane Hatchett, is here in support. So Austin, congratulations, guys, if you'll come in. And if you guys don't care, we're going to slide a little bit to the left so we can make sure we get everybody in the picture. We have a flag. Yep. Austin. No pressure. If you want to, you can. Thank you all. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you again, Austin. We also have Keith Taylor here from the newspaper. That sounds like a really good news story, Keith, on all the good work that Austin's doing in the community. So thank you all. Moving forward, the next item on the agenda is resolution number 11-2024, airport grant contracting from the Appalachian Regional Commission. And I'll note that resolutions 11, 12, 13, and 14 are all related. These are required since this is a federal grant involving federal funds, these are all resolutions that have to be passed for us to accept the funding and get the project out to bid, which should be any time. Mr. Gilbert.
Resolution 11-2024 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Berea, Kentucky, authorizing the execution of contract with the Commonwealth of Kentucky for a grant from the Appalachian Regional Commission in the amount of $1,024,800 for the Central Kentucky Airport Water and Sewer Line Extension Project to be administered by USDA Rural Development, and authorizing the mayor to execute documents and act as authorized correspondent for the project.
Is there a motion to approve and adopt resolution number 11-2024?
So moved.
By Mr. Cottle, second by Cora Jane Wilson. Any discussion on the motion to approve and adopt resolution 11-2024? Seeing none, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, please say no. The motion carries and the resolution is approved. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 12-2024, airport grant cost overrun. Mr. Gilbert.
Resolution 1224, a resolution of the City of Berea, Kentucky, providing that cost overruns on the project funded by the grant provisions for a grant for the ARC in the amount of $1,024,800 for the Central Kentucky Airport Water and Sewer Line Extension Project shall be borne by the City of Berea and not the ARC.
Is there a motion to approve and adopt resolution number 12-2024 by Katie Startzman and a second by David Rowlett? Any discussion on the motion to approve and adopt resolution number 12-2024? Seeing none, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, please say no. The motion carries. Moving forward, the next item is resolution number 13-2024, airport grant procurement standards. Mr. Gilbert.
Resolution 1324 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Berea, Kentucky, adopting procurement standards for the expenditures of block grant funds to comply with the grant provisions for the grant from the ARC for the Central Kentucky Airport Water and Sewer Line Extension Project. As a side note, I have reviewed these procurement standards, and we have mechanisms. The city has mechanisms in place to comply with these expenditure standards.
Is there a motion to approve and adopt resolution 13-2024?
So moved.
By Steve Cottle, second by Ron Terrell. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. The motion carries and resolution number 13-2024 is approved and adopted. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 14-2024, airport grant residential anti-displacement. Mr. Gilbert.
Resolution 14-2024, a resolution of the City Council of Berea, Kentucky, adopting the Guide Form Residential Anti-Displacement and Relocation Assistance Plan under Section 14D of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974 as amended to comply with the grant provisions for the Central Kentucky Airport Water and Sewer Line Extension Project.
Is there a motion to approve and adopt resolution number 14-2024 by Teresa Centers? Is there a second by Katie Startzman? I will note that we do not anticipate any displacement of any residences as a result of this project. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve and adopt resolution 14-2024? Seeing none, we'll move to a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, please say no. Motion carries and resolution number 14-2024 is approved and adopted. The next item on the agenda is ordinance number 21-2024, operation of golf carts on city streets. Mr. Cottle.
Based on the work session that we had and the discussions that were had in said work session, I think it's best that we make a motion, or I make a motion to table ordinance 21-24.
There's a motion to lay on table, and there's a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to lay on table ordinance number 21-2024? Any discussion on the motion to lay on table? Seeing none, we can do that by voice vote. All in favor of the motion to lay on table, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. The motion carries. This one is tabled, and we will bring that one back to the council at the next city council meeting, next regularly scheduled council meeting. Steve made the motion and Ron Terrell seconded. Is that correct, Ron?
Yes.
Okay. You're welcome. The next item on the agenda is ordinance number 22-2024, 50, 70, 90, 110, and 130 Cope Lane zone change. Mr. Gilbert.
Ordinance 22-2024 is an ordinance of the City of Berea, Kentucky, changing the zoning classification of property described herein and referred to as 50, 70, 90, 110, and 130 Cope Lane, owned by Houghton Homes LLC, from R1 single family to R2 two-family residential. This is based on a hearing of the Planning Commission and report and recommendation of the Planning Commission, with finding that the zone change reclassification was not in compliance with the comprehensive plan, but that the existing zoning classification was inappropriate and the proposed zoning classification of R2 was appropriate. The hearing was held, testimony was heard from a number of persons, and the report is attached to your ordinance. This is a second reading.
I'll make a correction on that one. This is the first
I'm
reading, so
sorry.
no problem. But
First
per past practice, we
First
will open
reading.
the floor, no problem. We will open the floor for any discussion or comments on ordinance number 22-2024. Comments or discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll move forward. The featured department head for department head reports is Priscilla Bloom, Director of our Parks and Recreation Department. Priscilla, welcome back. We're looking forward to your report. You have the floor.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Good evening, council, mayor, and city administrator. Hope everybody's week is going well so far. And if you're a fan of cooler temperatures, you're a happy camper right now. I'm going to start off talking about programs in October. It's certainly a busy month for activities. On the 4th, we had our annual showing of Hocus Pocus at Memorial Park. It was a beautiful evening. We had over 150 folks join us. This past Saturday on our story trail was our kickoff party for our Fall Into Reading program. We partnered with the Madison County Library and Better with Books, which is part of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. The actual Fall Into Reading programs began yesterday, and it'll run till mid-December. Tomorrow is our monthly bingo at the Senior Center. That can get pretty intense, especially when the grand prize round comes up. This Saturday, we have our fall painting class. It will be taught by a very talented local artist, Heather Dent. We do have a few spots available, so if anybody's interested, just call the park office. It's free to participate. On the 29th, we're hosting a Halloween dance for Special Olympics of Kentucky at the Folk Center, and that's in partnership with Richmond Parks Department. Always a fun time, very well attended. And then finally, to finish the month, is one of our biggest events of the year. It's our 23rd annual Halloween at the park. That's going to be held on the 31st from 6 to 8, so same time as Trick or Treat. We have local businesses who hand out candy. We'll have fire truck rides, inflatables, photo booth, and I want to thank several departments who are participating. Fire department, police, tourism, and utilities. Takes a lot of people to make this event a success, so we're truly appreciative of their involvement. And we do also have a few spots left for any local business or organization. It's a really good way to advertise to thousands of folks and also participate in a long-standing community event. So give us a call if you're interested in that. Our maintenance staff staying very busy. We've got daily ball field preparations as we're in the middle of the Youth League fall season. We've also got 2 more tournaments, and then that'll wrap up that for the season. Planted grass last week. They're mulching playgrounds, trimming trees, cleaning gutters. And as strange as it seems, we're going to be checking our Christmas lights next week so that they're ready to go the week of Thanksgiving. Let's see here. I do have a project update for you. The basketball court renovation looks to be completed next week. And I'd like to thank Brian Reed with the Codes Department, who's really helped to oversee this entire project from the beginning. I think you guys are going to love the colors. It's going to look great, and most importantly, it's going to be a safe, level surface for everybody. So, like I said, should be done next week. We had to put it on hold. It's homecoming at Berea. It's kind of hard to keep people off the court this week, so and the cool temperatures, put it on hold as well. But that's all I got. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer them for you.
Questions or comments for Priscilla? Thank you, Priscilla. Great report. Appreciate all the work that you do and all the park staff. So thank you very much. Would any other department heads like to address the council? Seeing none, we'll move forward to public comment. Would any members of the public like to address the council? All right, seeing none, we'll move forward to the city administrator's report, and I'll recognize City Administrator Rose Beverly. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's good to see you guys tonight. I feel like we were just here. I cannot imagine it's even been 2 weeks since the last time I was here with you guys. I just want to note one of the things in that audit report, and I meant to bring it up here with me, but it was after revenues and expenses and buying the fire truck, 1.7 million over. So we work really hard. Everybody knows that. The mayor's worked really hard with getting jobs here to do what we can and cut back on expenses. And I'm very proud of all the work that everyone does to make this city run, and I am proud of that number as well, and I think all of you should be too. So I just wanted to bring that up and not let this go unnoticed. It's not a part of my report. I'm sorry, Rob, and it won't be in my notes. But so the first thing I want to talk about tonight outside of that is that we have some employees in here working on ways to give back, and I just want to highlight those ways right now, and we could use help with those as well. So these are 2 ways that if anybody can help, please do. So the first one, as a part of the Kentucky Travel Industry Association annual conference in November, Danny, Becky, and Emily in the tourism department will be participating in voluntourism. So I think this has been a statewide effort. It's exciting that they are taking part in it. It's an opportunity for tourism professionals to give back to the community through a day of service. This year's project is dedicated to the DCCH Center for Children and Families, where they will be providing breakfast as well as participating in games, arts and crafts, and educational activities with the children who are currently residing at this residence. The DCCH Center for Children and Families has been committed to developing connected, compassionate, and healing for all they serve, and their flagship residential treatment facility houses 32 children ages 8 to 14 years old who have been placed into the care of the state due to abuse or neglect. It costs the DCCH $508 a day per child to give these kids round-the-clock wraparound services. And they service children from all over 120 counties in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The center has asked us to consider donating personal care items, and we would love to show up, and this is in Danny's words, so I'm reading this incorrectly. They would love to show up strong representing Berea. If you would like to donate any of the following items, please bring them to the Welcome Center or City Hall mailroom anytime between now and Tuesday, November 12th. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, lotion, deodorant, eye care, feminine care, underwear, and socks. And they will continue to collect everything and transport it to the facility on November 13th. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Danny Gift, our interim director of tourism. So that's one way. And while you're picking up those items, feel free to also pick up items for the City of Berea is collaborating with Cub Scout Pack 516 to be a donation point for hurricane relief supplies. Donated supplies will be delivered by Pack 516 to somewhere in North Carolina. They do have a contact there, and they are working with them to make sure that we're getting them the things that they actually want. So donations can be dropped at the rear back doors of the Berea Fire Department attached to City Hall, so the one here, not our other one. Items will be accepted until October 18th. The requested items for donation are baby wipes, antibacterial wipes, diapers, baby food, batteries, hygiene items, and water. And the information and contact information for the Cub Master in charge of this collaboration are available on our Facebook page, and that is an effort between the fire department and the police department to help with that. They've worked together on that. So I am pleased to see our staff members finding ways to give back, and if any of you can help with that, we would greatly appreciate that as well. I think it's always good to have an opportunity to give back, and we definitely have folks in need right now that we can all take that on and help out. that is all that I have for today. I know you guys have a lot going on, so I will take any questions that you may have.
Questions for Rose? Steve?
This may be in your comments, maybe not. Do we need to set the time for Halloween? We won't have a meeting between now and then.
Did we set that already?
We can. I
Council
think.
meeting?
I don't think we did it in a council meeting. I think
Oh,
maybe there was an event scheduled,
Honestly, I don't remember.
Go back.
but traditionally that is on October the 31st from 6 to 8. We can certainly entertain a motion for that.
It's not a bad idea.
We have for 10.
Motion by David Rowlett
Okay.
to set Halloween trick or treat on October 31st from 6 to 8. Is there a second?
Second.
Ron Terrell, is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a voice vote. All in favor of the motion to set Halloween for October trick or treat for October 31st from 6 to 8, please say aye. All opposed, please say no. The motion carries, and we're good. Steve, thank you. Any
Thank you.
other
I missed that one
questions?
totally, so I believe you that we have done that. I think I do remember that.
I actually give Priscilla the credit because she mentioned the city's Halloween in the park, and I realized that we hadn't voted on it this year. So
Okay.
I don't know that actually I don't know what happens if we don't, but again, we've done it since the beginning of time.
Probably we could get a lot of phone calls.
Now it's official. Ronnie?
Rose, are we gonna be here for the next council meeting?
So, Councilmember Terrell just asked me if we would be having our next council meeting. I think that's a very good question. I would leave that. I didn't know if you were gonna address that in your, okay.
Well,
The mayor's going to address that.
okay. Other questions or comments for Rose? Right on cue. Ronnie's a step ahead of me as usual.
Okay.
Our next regularly scheduled city council meeting would be on Election Day at 6:30. I think in the past, sometimes we've had a council meeting. Other times, I think when there's a presidential election, we typically have not. So that would be the pleasure of the council on whether you want to cancel the next meeting or carry on with it. Ronnie?
Make a motion that we cancel the next council.
Ronnie moves to cancel the next regularly scheduled meeting. Is there a second? By David Rowlett. Any discussion on the motion to cancel the next regularly scheduled city council meeting?
Can we have that like the following Thursday as a special meeting?
We can set a special meeting. I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
So there is a motion and a second on the floor to cancel the meeting. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll request a voice vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. And all opposed, please say no. Motion carries, so that meeting will be canceled, and Cora Jane, to your point, we'll try to get a special call meeting scheduled for as soon after as possible. I do know that we would need to do a second reading on the zone change, and we'll have other business as usual, so we'll try to get that to move along for the property owner there and move that forward. The next item I had on the mayor's report is the Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen has their fall market. This year it's going to be at the Kentucky Artisan Center, and that's this Saturday, October 19th and 20th. I think both days it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. The ending date is a little different, I think 4 to 5 o'clock, but it's at the Artisan Center Saturday and Sunday, free admission, free parking. I would encourage you to try to help spread the word and attend if you can, and support the Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen with their fall fair. The next item that I have actually was about fall cleanup, and I would ask Rose if you maybe want to do a little reminder on the fall cleanup on the dates.
Yes, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
forgot that I was going to do that. Yes, next week is fall cleanup, and please do remember that the information will be in the paper, and it is also up on our Facebook page. So any questions about how that works, there's a lot of details in there. And if any of those details don't meet the needs for the questions, you can also call. The phone number is in there for Waste Connections, and please feel free to call them with additional questions.
This is a really good service and a good way to get rid of some junk that you don't need anymore. So thank you for the reminder, Rose. Next week, that concludes my comments, and we'll next move to council comments, and we'll begin with Mr. Cottle.
Did we find out on the cleanup if you can take it yourself to the center?
I feel like I completely failed you on that. I will find that out tomorrow and I will email it and we can update the Facebook post with that information. So I'm so sorry. That was,
No worries.
yes, that was a very good question.
Other than that, I have no comment.
Thank you, Steve. Next, we'll move to Cora Jane Wilson. Cora Jane.
Great report, Susan. Great job. And that's all.
Thank you, Cora Jane. We'll next move to Ronnie Terrell.
No comment.
Thank you, Ronnie. David Rowlett. Mr. Rowlett.
Lots and lots of work, I'm sure, so. The other thing is, good to see Josh Bray recognized this evening. I think he'll be a key player in our ability to get the third and final phase of the bypass done in a timely manner. Surely to God, it won't take 40 years to get the next piece done, but if we could get it in 10, I could sleep better at night. So, would like to see that done, and then it's nice to see all of our folks that got recognized this evening with awards and the extra hours and things that they put in. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Next, Katie Starsman.
Thanks for such a great audit again, and please express our thanks to your great crew as well. I appreciated the work session that we had, and I also it was great to hear from Stephanie Moore from White House Clinics. I think it was really true what she said. I tend to think of the clinic over on Legacy Drive as the only way I interact with it and don't think about the larger economic role and also how many folks they serve in our community. We're really lucky to have White House Clinic, and thank you for inviting Stephanie.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to Teresa Centers.
I'm not gonna say congratulations to all the people who got awards tonight because I'd leave somebody out and that would not be good, but I do want to say, as everybody else has said, what a good job Susan does, and not just Susan, my colleagues on this council and administration and the mayor. We are so fortunate to have such a well-run fiscally, financially city, and I think sometimes we take that for granted, but good job.
Thank you, Teresa. And for the last word, Jim Davis.
I'm gonna call out names. Congratulations, Donna, Rose, Brian, and Representative Bray for your achievements. Thank you, Susan, for the audit. It's good to hear that news. And Austin Weiner, thank you. He's gone. All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn by Steve Cottle? Is there a second by David Rowlett? All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye. And all opposed, please say no.